Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. So today I thought we could have some fun with the some of the products from the Smitten workshop or collection, I guess is more correct. Because I have a workshop for Smitten, but we're going to play with the collection and we're going to, I think, my thought is we are going to create a few of the cards that are part of the Smitten workshop, and then I'm going to turn them into A2 size cards. So just let me share this into my classroom. Just give me 1 second and then we can get started. Okay. So I was cutting up a few of the cards from the workshop. So there's a workshop from Home Office that creates one double page spread, a single page, and then slimline cards, a little treat container, a little mailbox thing. But so what I'm going to do, hello, Bernadette, hey Tara. What I want to do is I'm going to take two of them. I'm going to rework them because I don't want to use the stickers. We're going to stamp so that we can get some more out of them. And then I'm going to take them from A2 size cards and make them from Slimline into A2 size cards. Because I find that lots of people don't necessarily want to play with Slimline cards. And maybe they just don't have that much to say for Valentine's Day that they want a card that long. Okay, just 1 second. Sorry. They always are changing things just slightly. So, and then I was a minute late because my dog seems to have decided he's not feeling well today. And he needed to throw up right before I was going to do my live, of course. So, always really great things happening around here on Tuesdays. Okay, so here we go. Okay, it's shared everywhere. Okay, so for Christmas, guys, I know you guys probably realize this already, but I have like a stand-up desk because I've always stood up. So I got for Christmas a drafting chair. I don't know if you can see it here. The arms are up because it was actually tucked underneath my desk. But so I'm going to try sitting down while I'm doing my live today, which I don't normally do. I normally stand up. So we're going to just try this. Okay, so I'm going to shoot you down on my desk and we will take a look at what I've got here. I'm not sure. Maybe I need another light. What do you think? Is it bright enough? Okay, so this is the workshop that corporate has designed. So I'll show you what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to put this up here. Okay, so like I said, it creates a single page, a double page, and then some slimline cards. And then there's these little pockets and these little mailboxes. If you're interested in making any of that, they're going to do that on the corporate page. So that's just like their regular Close to My Heart Facebook page. They're going to do that all. But so I thought I would just swap it up a little bit for you right now. So I've started posting these every once in a while. So quite typically when I get a new stamp set that I know that I'm going to play with a lot, I cut out a piece of white daisy that is 8.5 by 11 because then it will go into a page protector and then I'm going to keep it in my coloring binder. So lots of times it's hard for me to visualize without actually coloring in something to create it into then something else. So lots of times when I know I'm going to play with different techniques and stuff, I will just stamp a sheet with the stamp set. Like I said, you guys have seen this before. This is nothing crazy. But so you can just see here, like for example, this one I use the citrus blend, and then I add clear shimmer brush to it. And I know you're not going to see it on camera very well, but its little wings are sparkly. And then the actual technique that they use in this workshop is coloring with your regular inks, right, and a water brush. So to do that, I also tested it here so I could see what it was going to look like. And then up here for the little bumblebee, you can also do the same thing with your shimmer brushes if you are okay with putting your shimmer brush into the lid. So I actually, this one, that's what's done with this one. So it's a little bit sparkly, but it's actually colored with the lemonade ink and clear shimmer brush. And then here you can just see I was playing with different mediums to color the koala. So here it's tri-blends, and then here I played with my watercolor pencil crayons, and then I always like note the name or color so that if I want to replicate it exactly again, when I come back I can see. And then I did a little brown version of the koala also, and then I wanted to do a balloon to kind of match the capri, so I was playing around with his balloon there. So I thought I would just show you that at the beginning. And then so then I just put it in my page protector and I put it in a binder. So then next time when I want to do something with this stamp set, I can just pull that sheet and I'll write like the stamp number and all those things on top so that I remember what I'm doing. Okay, so I've pulled out some tri-blends. These are the ones for the workshop. I did grab my clear shimmer brush, I have my water brush, my white gel pen, and then I have a little piece of just scrap cardstock here to get my white gel pen going so I can see it. And then I've stamped a few images and I've cut out my pieces. And like I said, so I have used the pieces of paper from Smitten. Hey, Mom. My mom is watching right now. So I've pre-cut them out. And like I said, we are going to, they're designed as slimline cards. And I'm going to take them, we're going to make them slimline, and then I'm going to turn them into A2 size cards. So I picked two to start off with. So we're going to start off with this one right here, and I'm going to make some changes. So this is project 4. So we're going to here I cut some pieces and I did change some of the measurements along the way. And then I have a little piece of scrap white daisy because we're going to do some inking. So they have taken lemonade on the background and they're just laid it in. So first I'm going to show you that. So I have project number 4 here. So I have a slimline card base. I'll just put my number to the side. So they have ripped this piece of lemonade. There's a little bit of stamping on the background. There is capri on the top with a little bit of white daisy doodling and a little skinny piece of the doodle on the bottom. And then, like I said, we're going to sponge with lemonade. So I just wanted to show you this. So I have a dauber and a sponge. And you get two slightly different looks. Yeah, just a few little changes. So I quite prefer to always play with a sponge. I just like the soft finish of it a little bit more. So I'm going to show you the difference though, because lots of people prefer a dauber. It's just slightly different. So I just have a clean piece of sponge, right? I've just cut up my cheap little sponge there, and you can see that looks like it maybe got some ink on it. Okay, so there's also lots of ways you can do this. You can just tap it, and because the sponge is textured, you get a little bit of that texturing in your sponging if you just tap it, right? And you can build up the color as much as you want, or you can rub it and you get a smoother look, right? So, and again, you can build up the color. If you use a sponge dauber, you're going to get then a third look even. So you get much more concentrated color, and you can see the difference here. Again, you can build it up, but it kind of just depends on what you're looking for. So this is just really tapped down with the sponge, then this is rubbed with the sponge, and then this is the dauber. So it's totally up to you, but I like the sponge, the softness of it. So that's what I'm going to do. So we are just going to, and I am typically probably not going to go in the same order as the directions. So I'm just going to burnish my card base, and I'm going to add yellow sponging. So they've got the sentiment over here and then yellow sponging all behind the back. So I'm just going to tap it all through the middle of my project, and it just kind of breaks up all that white also. So I don't mean to shake the camera. Okay, so I did pre-stamp and thin cut out my characters, and like I said, the second one is a sticker card. We're going to turn it into a stamped image so that I can use it more. Okay, so I have my piece of capri to go across the top, my little decorative piece of paper down here, and then they have ripped this like this, and I don't necessarily like that. I also like the lighter side of lemonade. So I'm going to rip on this side, and I'm going to just keep it in a straight line. I'm more about a straight line kind of look. If you want the hill, that's totally fine too. Okay, and then the technique that they used for this workshop is like playing with your gel pens, right? So your white gel pens. So to do doodling, to make dots on this yellow piece of paper, and then I forget what else they do here. So you can, I'm just taking off the edge. I want a little bit of the white showing, but I don't want it to look like the big hill. Okay, and you can decide how much you want taken off. Okay, so we're going to put this down here, but I'm going to do my doodling with my gel pen. So like I said, I'm going to maybe probably change things up a little bit. So I have just the 8, which is the one that they have in the directions, and I'm just making sure my pen is going before I start. And so for the yellow, they just did like doodling dots. So you can totally just have fun with it, or we can do something crazy and I'm going to just do this, and it's much faster. It'll dry while I do the other parts. Okay, so I'm going to do this to both pieces for this one and the A2 size card at the same time so that they'll dry. Okay, so I'm just going to splatter them with white, with the white gel spray. So I have my piece for my Slimline, and then I have my piece for my A2 size card too. And I'm just going to take the spray gloss, shake it up. You can hear it. Most of them have a little ball in there that helps shake everything up. And I very, very rarely would ever tell you that I actually spray with it. This is actually my preferred method. I love splattering. You could also just do it if you wanted with a shimmer brush. You could probably do it with like your white ink if you wanted. If you don't want to do it with the gel pen. Okay, so I'm just going to set this aside to dry while we do the rest. Okay. I just thought this would be more noticeable than the gel pen. Okay, so I'm just moving that over there. It's going to be on my keyboard, so I hope it's not going to type anything crazy. Okay, so but I'm going to do just the doodles across the top. They have squiggly lines. I'm going to do not squiggly lines. I'm just going to do kind of one line across the top. So really, by doing this, you can extend, right, your cardstock that's plain by making it look like this will look like a zip strip or a little bit of a decorative piece of paper. Okay, I'm just going to give that a second to dry. Then we have the bee. Okay, and I'll color both the bees at the same time. So we're going to do two different bees though. We will do one the way that they're doing, like the way the workshop is designed, which is with your ink. So I just, if you saw, I just squeezed my ink and now I have color in the lid of my ink pad. I have my water brush. This is the small one, I think. Yeah. So I'm just going to now pick up ink from the lid of my ink pad and paint them. So the only thing here, this gives it kind of like that whimsical, I can just push you down here a little bit. So you can see a little bit better. I just don't want to go too close. So I got my water brush and I'm just picking up the ink. So the color doesn't go super far when you're doing that because you just have like a little tiny bit on your water brush. But it gives it that fun watercolored look. But if you have your ink already for other stamping, you might as well use it. And then I'm just going to add just a little bit around the outside of her wings. Just like that. And then I'm going to color the flower. I just need a paper towel. The only thing about this chair is it's higher to jump up and down from. So I'm just cleaning off my brush in between. So I'm just making sure I don't have any yellow left on here. And we're going to just color the flower. And I'm going to use a flamingo. So same thing, I'm just lightly pushing. And now you have color in the lid. And I'm just going to color the flower. So it will be darker the second where you put your brush down, right? Because that's when you have the most ink. So I'm putting my brush down in the middle of the flower and pulling out because that's where I want the darkest color. Okay, so that's how she looks, just like that. Okay, so that's one. Now on the second one, so I'm just cleaning now the pink out of my water brush. You could squeeze a little bit of water and then that'll help it run out. Okay, so the second one, I'm gonna take my clear shimmer brush and shake it up. And I want this one sparkly. So, same thing. Here's my yellow. I still have lots there. So now I'm just painting with my shimmer brush. And now I have a little bit of a sparkly bee. So we'll use this second one on the A2 size card. So, don't know if you can see, but she is sparkly now. Okay, same thing. I'm just gonna do a little bit around the outside of her wings. Just like that. And I'm just cleaning the tip of my brush off. If I'm worried about the shimmer in here, I can also just wipe that off the lid of my ink pad. And now I'm going to do the flower. Just like that. And don't forget, you can always turn your image too to make it easier to color versus trying to make your hand move around. Okay, I might just actually add just a little bit of pink to her cheeks too, because it's a cartoon already, right? So, okay, so let's close these up so I don't have another accident or more accidents. Okay, so that was Lemonade and Flamingo. So now I think I have my parts. Okay, so let's put the bottom pieces in before I stamp the sentiment, which is Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, it's right here in front of me. So it is this one right here. So it's going to go over here. And, oh, I did grab black. Perfect. Okay, but I'm going to put the bottom pieces in so I know whereabouts to stamp my sentiment first. So let's see how our little piece of paper is doing here. So you can see now it just looks like little dots on there. So it is dry enough. I'm going to add it. So it didn't take very long because you're not using very much, right? So I'm just going to add this to the bottom edge here. Just like that, but okay. Because I left it, I think, bigger than them. I just wanted to make sure I was still going to have room to add my sentiment. Okay, look at that. I cut the piece the wrong size. Well, that's very interesting. Oh, no, I didn't. Never mind. It is got a border on each end like that. Okay, but let's put the lid on our shimmer brush here. And the skinny pink piece is stuck to the bottom of my all-purpose mat. So this would be cute too. That's the other side of that piece of paper. Or this one. I think we're going to use the other side. Let's just go wild and crazy here, guys. Okay, so we're going to use the little arrows instead of the doodly pink side. Okay. So just a nice little skinny piece here. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp. Let's see if I can do this sitting down. Like I said, I don't normally I think if I'm going to stay sitting down, I'm going to have to move my camera just slightly because I seem to be pulling stuff more towards me. So I inked up my stamp. There we go. Okay guys, I'm gonna go wild and crazy and I'm gonna try and stamp over the second piece of paper too. This could totally not work well in my favor, but if so, then I'll just fix it up with my black pen, because I went right over the seam because it was because I didn't rip it as much, but it just fine. We did just fine there. Okay, so then I'll add my piece at the top, and then we'll add our bee. I also thought you could swap this piece out if you wanted some more sparkle for like a piece of capri shimmer trim. Okay, so then here is my bee. I'm not adding the sticker. Like I said, I want to use the stickers for layouts. So, and right, if I do one here, then I don't have a sticker for the A2 size card either, so we're not doing that. So I'm going to put this guy on 3D foam tape, and then I just need my black and white dots. I always cut my shimmer or my 3D foam. I'm not a foam tape ripper. So it takes an extra second, but I like to be in control. Okay, so I'm just making sure his body is level, is what I am looking at to my sentiment. And then I'm just going to add some doodle lines like he is flying. Just like that. And then my black and white dots. I feel like a little kid sitting in a high chair. So we'll add 3 medium white dots down here. And this one is done, and then we can go on to the A2 size card. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's how this one turned out. I really like that splatter there. Okay, so now we have our pieces ready. This is the A2 size one, right? So I have the skinny piece for the bottom. I have a wider piece of capri. So I'm going to have to do a bigger doodle there. And then I have this piece of lemonade. I have our little bee. Okay, so let's just fold this card so it stops popping up like that. Okay, and this one is dry, obviously, and I used, like I said, the lighter side. So I'm just ripping the edge. Okay. So I'm going to add this to the bottom with just a little border. So that's just 4 inches. I made this one by 1.5. Oh, look at that. Okay. wouldn't be alive if I didn't run out of tape runner. Okay, so this one actually, I think, okay, and so this piece I made it a little bit wider too. So I made it by 4 inches, and this is 3/8. So I'm going to actually add this piece in first and then butt it at the lemonade up to it. So I just have a little border. So like I said, you guys are going to have to yell if I go off camera because I am not used to the sitting down thing. There we go. Okay. So then I have this piece of capri for at the top. So that's wider also. I made this 3/4 of an inch by 4. Okay, so we're going to add our doodles to that. And then we have our shiny bee. This is the one with the sparkle. So let's just see. I'm going to put my sentiment and add this blue and add the doodles and then add my sentiment. Okay. So for this one, we have our white gel pen and I'm just going to make it look like just stitching across it. So just a stitch line at the top and at the bottom. Or a faux stitch line, I should say. Can you imagine trying to actually sew on your paper on a live video? That would be super noisy. I don't think you guys would like that very much. So just like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna stamp my sentiment. Bring back. I should probably just flip my Versamat, but that's okay. Have the little piece of sponge just sitting right here. Okay, again, I'm going to just use black, but it would look super cute with any of the colors too that coordinate, right? Like the raspberry, the flamingo, the capri. You could totally stamp your sentiment in a different color. There we go. You could also do your doodling with your black journal pen too if you prefer, right? So I'm going to put my little bumblebee right here. Okay. You totally don't have to. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Okay, we're going to have to sponge quickly. Don't want to forget that. So we'll save this piece. Okay. So I will just sponge in my yellow. Actually, maybe this one will sponge capri so it'll look like he's flying in the sky. So let's just test this. I have more sponge here. Okay, so I don't need this big a piece. So I'm going to cut this in half. And if it's a color I know I'm going to use again too, I normally staple a piece of cardstock on the bottom there and use it like a handle. So yes, I think we will do that. So now it's just gonna look like he's flying in the sky. So I'm just building it up a little bit more in the middle and a little bit less towards the outside. Okay, there we go. So then I'm going to put my little bee here. Okay, and then I'm going to add my doodle lines off the back and just a little bit. Because you don't have as far to go with that one. And then the other thing I did grab was, these are the sequins, the wildberry sequins. So I think I'm going to use those on here. So I'm just going to add them with glue dots, and because they're the pink colors, right? So let's just see. I'm just going to dump some here into the lid so I can see them a little bit better. So I want these ones. Okay. So I just rummaged through with my pickup tool, and now I'm going to put them on glue dots. So I have two that are the same and one that is just a little bit bigger. So, oh, I missed the glue dot there. The bigger one I'm going to put in the middle. Whoop, sliding under my bee there. Actually, maybe we should spread these ones out on the card. Because they did these all in a row, I was going to do the same thing, but I'm thinking maybe we will spread these ones out. There we go. My goodness, I don't know how I keep missing the glue dot. Other than to say it's really dry today, so maybe it's having a hard time sticking. There we go. Okay, so there is the slimline version, even changed up a little bit. And then here is the A2 size version. So same but different. And like I said, some people don't want to do slimline cards. They're just used to A2 size cards. So that's why I thought I would switch it up like that. Okay, so that's that one. And then the other one that I cut was this one. And this one uses stickers too, right? So that's the llama sticker. Hug your llama today. And then this is the little Tweety Bird one. But we're going to use the koala. So I put that behind me now, I think. Oh no, maybe I should actually pay attention to it. There we go. So we get a rough idea of what I was actually. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to color the koala. So I'm going to use this little piece of paper that I showed you my inking on. And then, so for his balloon, I grabbed ice blue. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to work from darkest to lightest, which I don't normally do. So, but I'm going to do the dark around the outside and the little bottom of the balloon. Okay, and then I'm going to go to medium. And then my lightest in the middle. And then I'm just going to use the lightest to blend everything together. And we will do the same thing on the other side, for the second card. So I have my dark around the outside. So you could also obviously swap out for different stamps instead of the stickers. But I liked this one because he had some height to him, right? So I was replacing already something that was like a big sticker. So this is one of the bigger images, right? But you could swap it out for one of the other images too. And then just my lightest in the middle and blending out my balloon just like that. Okay, so actually they did faux stitching on this card, medium and dark. Okay, and then I have a brown gray, and then I have pale pink. So I'm just going to do, so I'm going to do them exactly like I did this one, except for this was pale pink shades, so it was darker. But this is what I'm going to color him the same way I did this one. So I'm going to put this away first. So let's go with our brown gray. And actually this one too, I'm going to go with my darkest first around the outside of him, to try and make him look a little bit fuzzy. And then I actually grabbed diamond stickles, and I think I'm going to put that on his belly. So remind me, because I'll do it at the very end. So I'm just going to go in here, the bottom part of his ear, and then his armpits, his hands, this part of his ear. So like I said, this time I'm going the darkest, which is actually, I don't normally color this way. So I typically go the opposite direction. Okay, so now some of the middle. And I am trying to make him look like it's like fur and not just like me solid coloring, right? Okay, and then my lightest everywhere else, and kind of using it to blend everything out. Okay, so this one is going to run out live on camera, but that's okay. have a new one. We're all okay. I knew I was getting close. Okay, so just my white end here. This gray is my favorite. I don't know, it's, I think, like so user-friendly for so many things, this brown gray. Okay, so let's go back medium a little bit and just blend this all together. Okay, and then I'm going to add the pale pink to his ears. And his cheeks. Just because if he's a cartoon already, let's make him look like a cartoon. Okay, so how cute is that? He's very cute. Okay, so that's for one of our cards. We'll just really quickly do the second one here. So, same thing. Actually, maybe I should have done this second one with other color combination. Because when you look at koalas on, I was looking at pictures, they do have some kind of like brown in their fur, some of them. I'm assuming it has to do with like whatever kind of species they are. I'm assuming there's not only one certain kind. So that's why I did this other one. These muted brown colors. Plus it just looked a little bit different. Okay. So that was the dark, and now the medium. And like I said, I'm trying to make him look fuzzy because he's also, if you look at the stamp set, if you look at the stamp, they make him look fuzzy too, right? So I'm just trying to play up the fuzzy. Okay, and then the light. So I'll just have to make sure to note which is my new marker. Okay, so I think he's cute. So there we go. And I said, like I said, I think we're gonna put, so that's my new one. I'm gonna move it way over there. I think we're gonna put a little sparkly belly on one of them. Okay, so here's what we're following. And here are my pieces. Okay, I'm gonna actually move this, I'll put this mat out of my way. Okay, so here are the pieces for the Slimline card. And like you can see, there's not a ton of pieces to these cards. So you could totally use different card paper or different collections, different scraps that you have. You could totally make different color combinations. Okay, so that is for the A2 size. So they did lemonade. Oh, look, I should take my number off here. They did lemonade also in the background here. So but I think we're going to do something different just because we can. Because there's not really very much to this. So there's these 3 pieces. And this is where our koala is going to go. And so this is kind of how the slimline version looks. So I think we need to jazz it up a little bit. So let's decide here. And then I'm thinking, oh, I think we'll have to stamp this for him. Okay, so we're going to do this sentiment. And then, so we'll roll this one off. I haven't used this yet. So I'm just rubbing it on my skin to take the coating off. And then I actually think we'll add maybe a few of these. There's a little scattered element also on this stamp set, which is just our little tiny hearts. So I'm going to add that on my block. And also I haven't used this. So I just rubbed that against my skin. So here we go. We're going to, let's see what colors I grabbed. I don't think I want to do lemonade because there's a lot of lemonade on this card. So I either have flamingo or raspberry. So let's see here. So that's the flamingo. And then this is the raspberry. Oh, I think I know what I'm going to do. Okay, we're going to do flamingo, and then I'm going to stamp the hearts, the scattered hearts with the raspberry. Okay, so let's just move these pieces off of here. So I have the flamingo. And I know I need all in the middle section, right? So I'm concentrating in the middle section. So I'm just laying the color in however I see fit. Just add a little bit of texture to the background. Like I said, guys, if I go off camera, just yell. Okay, so now I'm going to take the raspberry and just stamp it. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it off. So I'm using 2nd generation ink behind. So once, hey Kristen, you don't normally pop on. I must be going long. So see how pretty that looks just in there? So I've just stamped it off once and stamping it down. Stamp it off once, stamping it down. Just like that, just to add a little bit more excitement to the background. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so now we could put our pieces together. So this goes across the bottom, and I'll tell you what the measurements are for the A2 size cards when I go get there. Here it is. But these ones are just exactly the measurements from the workshop. So my black pen is right here. So just like how I did you're just missing me, that's all. Okay, I'm gonna again do the light side. I really like the light side of lemonade. If you like the darker side, that's totally fine too. So I'm just adding, instead of with the white gel pen this time, I'm just adding black stitching doodle lines across the top and the bottom of the bottom piece. And then at the top, they just added it to the bottom. So here we go. And these are the same size, so they're interchangeable. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and then let's add this one at the top. And then this one, it goes at the bottom. Okay, so then I think I'm going to stamp, not upside down, let's not do that. Not like it wouldn't be the first time. You know what is the best mistake is when you put the card together and you put it together and the opening's on the other side, so you put your card together on the back. That's always a fun one. But then you just cut it off and add it to a new card base. Easy peasy to fix. Okay, so my black ink. I'm just going to stamp this once to make sure that it's all good before I stamp it on my card, because like I said, I've never used it. Okay. So my little foam and my koala. There we go. Just like that. And then I'm just going to pop this up on 3D foam. Maybe we'll use thin for this card, just to add a little variety. I have said it several times, but I always love the Valentine's Day collections. And I don't know if it's just because you're like it's winter time and it's dark and we're coming off of Christmas, where I think that lots of times like the Christmas colors are so dark and traditional, right? So to have like fun, bright colors like this, that's probably why I like them. Okay, so then I grabbed stickles because I love stickles. So I grabbed Icicle. Oh, look, I didn't color his ears or his cheeks. So let's do that quickly. And yes, it's on 3D foam tape, so that's okay. Hopefully, see, that's why I put lots underneath there. Okay, this is super cute. I love them. Okay, so I'm just going to squeeze some out onto his belly. Just like that. And then I think I'm going to actually do the balloon too. So just be careful. And you guys know, because I'll do it at some point, put my hand back in it. Okay, so then I just need to add some black dots here, but how cute is that? So cute. Okay, so here we go. And we're going to go with big dots on here. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so now I've got the A2 size version, and this will go together super quickly. Okay, so let's just use our bone folder. Okay, so again, so this piece now, I actually kept it the same width. So it's 1.5 inches high by 4. So we're gonna have a little border around this one. And then these are 3/4 by 4. So for at the top and the bottom. So I have a much smaller space here. So I don't know that I'm gonna stamp a sentiment on this one. We'll still do our sponging though. But how about we do capri on this one for this background too. And then I'm going to do the little hearts with flamingo. So same thing, I'm just tapping in some color here. This is a much smaller space. There we go. So like I said, lots of times I'll just take a scrap piece of cardstock that either if it's white daisy, then I'll write the name on it, or if it's actually a spare piece of the color, then you don't have to worry about writing the name. Okay, so now I'll just stamp a few flamingo hearts. And same thing, I'm doing this super light. So I'm stamping off once and then moving my hearts in a different direction. I just want them kind of subtle, sitting there in the background so that you know they're hearts. So just like that, just to add a little bit of interest to the background. There we go. Okay, so that is done. So now I have my capri piece that I'll add. You could also very easily switch this over for the little doodled hearts or tiny wonky skinny hearts there. Okay, so then I'm going to use the light side again. So, and I'm just doing my stitching on the bottom. And then this one, it's top and bottom. And I don't even feel like he needs to have a sentiment, right? Because it does say on his balloon, "Be mine." So there we go. Okay, so just some 3D foam for him. You could also very easily turn these into birthday cards, right? By changing the sentiment. You could also do something different on this little balloon to make it birthday. There we go. So now I'll just add some, well, maybe we'll do the same thing and we'll add sequins onto this one. So here we go. Same thing. I have my glue dots here. Okay. So I'm just adding glue dots onto the back, and then we'll add them onto the card. And then we will color his body, or his belly, and then he's done. This one's still not dry, so I'm not going to put my finger in it. Okay, so that's not bad, eh? They're so cute. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. Let's put stickles on him. And I did grab, like I said, the icicle one because it does have a little tinge of blue sequins or glitter in there. So I thought it would play up the capri nicely, which I know you've all heard me say. I love the fact that they added capri into the Valentine's Day collection. Okay, so that is what I've got for you guys today. So we'll just look back at the 4 cards and I'll just remind you kind of what I did. So I took 2 of the cards from the Smitten workshop, and they are in the Smitten workshop Slimline. I altered them a little bit, like I said. So instead of doing the doodle dots, I did splatter with the gloss spray to get that same kind of look that they were going for. And then I added the doodling, just different, with the white gel pen, but basically everything else is the same. And then I did sponge the lemonade in the background. And then this one is just altered sizes to the A2 size. I did the same stamping water brush technique, but with your clear shimmer brush. And then we used the Wildberry sequins here. And then this one is very cute too. I added something to the background so we could swap out for the stickers so that you're not just using your stickers one time on 2 cards. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Like I said, it will take me a little while to get used to the sitting down thing. I'm not really sure if I'll keep on doing that. But I hope you guys have a great day. If you ever have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll be back later. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.